الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
قل أعوذ برب الناس.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we have another person who's trying to act smart again. His name is Sumerian Tigris, right? Now this guy, he's arguing about, if you read the whole comment, this is on Sheikh Uthman ibn Farouk's video, I'll show you later. If you read the full comments, I explained to him, he doesn't know what abrogation is. He doesn't know what the types of abrogation there is. Sometimes the abrogation can be, it can be abrogated from the text of the Quran, but the ruling can still remain, or it can be abrogated completely, which means another ayah replaces it. So that means the text is abrogated, and even the hukum, even the judgment is abrogated, or the ruling is abrogated. Or sometimes it can be, the text is still there, but the ruling is abrogated, right? Now, this guy trying to act smart with me, I showed him that the suckling, breastfeeding of the adult was only for Salim. Because the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ afterwards did tahrim. He forbade it. He forbade it for any adult to, basically breastfeed. So basically he forbade it, and even this shows that the scholars say that even if a person wants to go right now, and if he's having sexual intercourse with his wife, if he basically drinks the milk of her breasts, he does not become a mahram. He does not become, it does not mean that she is unlawful for him anymore, basically to have sex with her or to marry him, right? It does not apply for now. Okay, so similarly we're gonna see, I used all evidence to prove him wrong. I gave him the video link of the great scholar Sheikh Saleh al-Fawzan, and I'm gonna repeat it again. I'm a Sunni Salafi Muslim, okay, I'm not a Shia. I gave him Sheikh Ibn Baz to prove him wrong, and I brought him Sheikh Mustafa al-Adawy, who was one of the great ones, Mufti, who gives out religious verdicts, and he's a Salafi as well. And all of them say that it is haram for an adult to go and get breastfeed from another woman so that he may become her mahram. So adult breastfeeding is forbidden. Now I'm not talking about if a person is having sexual intercourse with his own wife and he suckles her. Okay, when he sucks on the breast, for example, the milk, as much as he can, it does not mean that he is a mahram for her, because this was abrogated. This was only for Salim. That's it, not for anyone else. Look what he said. He said that this scholar below, meaning in the link, clearly confirms the mother of faith Aisha immoral acts as instructed by Muhammad. Do you condemn him then? Yes, I condemn the scholar. The scholar they gave me this link is a Shia, and Shia are against Aisha. They hate Aisha, by the way. They curse Aisha, they curse Abu Bakr, they curse Umar, they curse Uthman. These are the companions. We Ahlul Sunnah don't do that, and we believe there is kufr for anyone to curse the Sahaba. And these Shias also have different hadiths. They don't believe in Sahih al-Bukhari. They are trying to he's giving me a Shia scholar trying to attack the Sunnis and explain the Sunni manhaj. Well, that Shia scholar got exposed many times by Sunnis. Watch what he gives me. Look what he gives me, guys. Let's laugh together. Let's laugh. Billah alaykum, let's laugh. Look what he gives me. Aisha,
you have 10 minutes to finish your research.
Adult
You rush into searching on
let's
Google.
Let's skip the ad.
Find a title that sounds credible. You enter the page and start reading with all your attention.
Yeah, I have no time for this, bro. Come on. I have no time for slow.
عائشة رضاعي كبيرة إيشان.
Look, he gave me about Aisha and breastfeeding adult man. This guy is a Shia, you idiot. This guy is a Shia. Shias hate Sunnis. Shias have different hadith. They don't follow Bukhari and Muslim. Shias follow Al-Kafi. This is like their their Sahih Bukhari. This is like their most reliable, authentic hadith. Al-Kafi is different than Sahih Bukhari, Habibi. And second of all, Al-Kafi says in their book, there's a hadith that says that the Quran is corrupt, that we have in our hands today is corrupt. The real one will come when Al-Mahdi, their Mahdi comes, and he will bring out Mus'haf Fatima, the Quran of Fatima, which is according to them most authentic. So they say that the Quran today is missing words. This is not what we Sunnis believe, Salafis. We believe that the Quran is complete and preserved. We have all the asanid of the Quran. They don't have any isnads for the Quran. They don't have any sahih isnads or mutawatir chains for the Quran to prove their claim that the Quran is not corrupt. We have it to prove that the Quran is not corrupt. Look, he gave me this. Look, this is Fatima Zahra Salamullahi alayha. These are Shias. What is this guy doing? Billah alaykum, what is this fool doing? Now let me show you in Sahih al-Bukhari. How did Salim suckle from the wife of Abu Hudayfa? Did he suckle directly, or did he suckle through a cup? As many scholars say, suckle through a cup or a container. And again, this was only for Salim to establish mahram relationship. Narrated Aisha, Aflah asked the permission to visit me, but I did not allow him. He said, do you veil yourself before me although I am your uncle? Aisha said, how is that? Aflah replied, you were suckled by my brother's wife with my brother's milk. What does that mean? Right? He says here, قال أرضعتك امرأة أخي بلبن أخي. Right? And they say that, oh, أرضعيه for Salim means that he did straight. No, you didn't, bro. Here it says أرضعتك امرأة أخي بلبن أخي. Right? بلبن أخي with the. So basically, this means that you were suckled by my brother's wife with my brother's milk. It was poured into a container and she was, suckled through it. This was to establish mahram relationship. How we prove that it is abrogated? In Sahih Muslim, Salama, the wife of Allah's apostle, used to say that all of the wives of Allah's apostle disclaimed the idea that one with this type of fosterage, having been suckled after the proper period, should come to them, and said to Aisha, by Allah, we do not find this but a sort of concession given by Allah's messenger only for Salim. So the Prophet only allowed Salim to be suckled through a container. She basically, the wife of Abu Hudayfa pours it and he drinks it. It was only for Salim to establish fosterage relationship or mahram, right? And no one was going to be allowed to enter our houses with this type of fosterage, and we do not subscribe to this view. All of the wives of Prophet Muhammad only for Aisha, she held a different view. And as I said before, the companions of Prophet Muhammad can make mistakes. They're not ma'soom, right? But all of the Prophet's wives saw that Aisha was wrong in this matter, right? Because as I said before, some of the Sahabas were with the Prophet in certain events and they heard from him things in that event which other Sahabas were not with the Prophet at that event, and they did not hear the hadith directly from the Prophet Muhammad. They were somewhere else. Let me show you. Here is one example. Bukhari transmitted it. Okay. Ikrimah told that when some heretics were brought to Ali, he had them burned. Ali burned them. And that when Ibn Abbas heard of it, he said that if it had been me, he would have had them burned. He would not have had them burned because of God's messenger's prohibition. So Ali a Sahabi and Ibn Abbas a Sahabi, they're both companions. Ali burned a certain heretic group and Ibn Abbas did not agree with him, because Ali did not hear straight from the Prophet Muhammad that he forbade burning. So Ibn Abbas said, the Prophet Muhammad forbade it, right? I would not have burned them because the Prophet Muhammad forbade it, right? Ibn Abbas heard of it. He said that if it had been him, he would not have had them burned because of God's messenger's prohibition. He's quoting what the Prophet Muhammad saying, do not inflict God's punishment on anyone, but would have had them killed on account of the statement made by God's messenger, kill those who change religion. So you can see even this, and Ali, who's Ali? He's one of the four guided caliphs, right? The four guided caliphs, right? So so the Sahaba can make mistakes, right? They can make mistakes. And similarly, Aisha, there's things that she does for her own ijtihad, right? She probably found that this view is most correct to her. But the correct view is that it's not, because all the majority of the Sahabas, including the other wives of Prophet Muhammad all agreed this was only for Salim and not for anyone else. And the Prophet Muhammad said prohibition, forbade that. And we'll see in the hadith. So as you can see, narrated Aisha that the Prophet Muhammad entered upon her while a man was sitting with her. Signs of anger seemed to appear on his face as if he disliked that. She said, "Here is my foster brother." The Prophet said, "Be sure as to who is your foster brother, for foster suckling relationship is established only when milk is the only food of a child." Okay? Only milk for the child. So it should not. So basically, Salim was grown up, right? So a person who's old like Salim today, okay, is not allowed to suckle to become a mahram, to become a relative of someone, right? Or to establish foster suckling relationship, right? Because the Prophet clearly says only for a child. If it's only the milk is the food of that child. Okay, so now when you grow up, your milk is not going to be only your food. You're not going to go get suckle people. You're going to eat other foods, right? So this is what it is shown here. And basically, here in a hadith sahih in Sunan Abi Dawood, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, "Fosterage is not valid except by what strengthens life to bones." This says love here, mistake, life to bones. إِلَّا مَا شَدَّ الْعَظْمَ, right? Life to bones, and grows flesh. وَأَنْبَتَ اللَّحْمَ, right?